What's up, y'all? My name is Desert Bloom Sims or Elias, and welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, please consider showing some support to the channel. You can leave a like, you could comment, or you can even subscribe if you like the video. Any support is much appreciated. So I'm picking up where I left off last week with Bob's makeover with Eliza's, and I know that there are probably some people out there who are mad at me for not releasing Eliza's makeover after Bob's like I said I would on Tuesday last week. But y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of stuff on my plate and I had to get ready for my classes and stuff. And as of right now, I'm actually recording this commentary on the Tuesday that I'm supposed to be posting Eliza's video. And you know, the reason that I'm pushing back the release of her video is because one, I'm doing the commentary now, and two, I had to get ready for class and stuff like that, and today I actually have to get ready for a midterm that I have tomorrow, so there's that. So I'm just going ahead and knocking the commentary out of the way, because usually when I have to do a video, I do my commentary like a day or two before the video is supposed to be released, which is why Bob's video released super late yesterday. I posted it at like 2:30 because I feel behind in my schedule when it comes to editing and stuff, so there's that. This will not be the first time that I say that I am a very bad procrastinator when it comes to quite literally anything and any aspect of my life. As I'm speaking right now, it is quite literally Friday. And if you didn't hear me just a second ago, I said that I was doing this commentary on a Tuesday, but I've quite literally fallen behind all the way towards Friday, and it's about to be Saturday, Sunday, and then it's going to be Monday. So pretty much I keep on procrastinating everything that I do, and it's so annoying. Besides the procrastination, I want to let y'all know, those of you who are returning subscribers or viewers, I'm going to let y'all know that I'm starting spring break as of now when I'm recording this, starting next week I believe. And I'm going to go ahead and record multiple videos for you guys, maybe up to 2, maybe 3 videos. I'm going to do speedcast, and I might try and do a build video. I'm going to see how that goes, because build videos are outside of my comfort zone as of right now, but it is something that I want to try and branch off into as well, because I like to have I'm trying to find the words here. I want to have somewhat of a catalog when it comes to my channel. Like, I don't just want to be this creator who just does Sims. I also want to be the creator who does builds, or you know, who makes recolors of CC or in-game items or whatever. And I just want to, you know, try different stuff and see what sticks, because I honestly don't want to just be shackled down to being a Sims 4 create a sim creator. That sounds so dumb, but y'all see what I'm saying, right? I am looking forward to branching out in terms of the type of content that I do. That's pretty much all what I'm saying. But to circle back, I am going to be trying to record some videos for you guys while I have the freedom on my spring break. And yeah, I do hope that those of you who are in school or college or whatever might offer you a spring break enjoy that said spring break, because I know for a fact that I'm going to enjoy my spring break, honey, because honestly, I don't know if I'm starting to hate college or if I'm starting to love it, but it's honestly a love-hate relationship. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Me and college, we're the most toxic bitches ever, but at the same time, we love each other down. We love each other down. At some point, going to and from class starts to create some sort of burnout, and like I've talked about before in some of my previous videos, I have experienced burnout, and I continue to experience that burnout here and there, and it's honestly the most annoying thing ever, because it just makes me feel como ese, like super depressed sometimes, and I just don't even want to do anything for real, but just do whatever it is that I enjoy and just do that and put everything else off, which honestly creates a sense of what's the word? It's coming to me, sort of, kind of, not really, procrastination. I honestly feel like that's where a lot of my procrastination comes from. I feel like it stems from the fact that I get a little bit burnt out on pretty much a lot of different stuff in my life, so I just resort to watching YouTube videos or binge watching a show on Tubi or something, and yeah, that's pretty much the whole entire cycle. I'm not quite sure if I'm rambling here to create a better understanding of myself, or I guess with myself, but honestly, I feel like doing commentary is like my way of talking with myself, or I guess like trying to better understand myself, because I mean, if you really think about it, not everybody just sits with themselves sometimes and just, you know, talk to themselves. And in fact, a lot of people just say, why am I talking to myself? Am I crazy or something? But honestly, talking to yourself is like one of the best things you can do, because in my personal experience, by the way, please don't add me. In my personal experience, when I sit and talk with myself, I'm just like, oh, you know what? I feel like I'm better understanding myself. And I feel like that's the whole science behind talking with yourself. It's not because you're crazy, but it's because you're trying to understand yourself, and that you do understand yourself in a way, because you're aware enough to speak with yourself. Does that sound crazy? I feel like I'm like on my philosopher shit right now. Shameless self-plug-in moment / segue. I have a Tumblr that I recently made, if you guys want to check that out, and I also have a TikTok that I'm somewhat active on nowadays, and I also have a Reddit, but I might not link that because I just made it to get some feedback on my makeover of Bob, and yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing with that. So yeah, if you guys want to check me out beyond YouTube, I do have those said social medias, or I guess platforms, linked in the description of this video. And yeah, I would much appreciate it if you guys went ahead and, you know, gave me a little bit of support, but it's all honestly up to you. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to say, oh, you need to do this, because I'm not that type of person. So yeah, if you do want to support me on those platforms, that would be much appreciated. Okay, love ya. So anyways, back to Eliza, because I've practically been rambling on about myself this entire video so far. My whole premise, or I guess idea, with this iteration of Eliza is that she is very high class. You know, she's always believed that she should get the things that she wants and that she deserves anything that she wants. And I feel like she would take the things that she wants by any means necessary. And that's why I always have believed Eliza to be this type of politician who is somewhat corrupt, you know, and gets things their way. And so basically that's pretty much why I envision her as a politician, if that makes sense, because I feel like a lot of politicians get the things that they want because they're so corrupt. Eliza would get the things that she wants, even if it means she is a bit corrupt in her way of doing it. And like I said in my other video, aka the one of Bob, I feel like Eliza would also be into politics to protect Iggy. I know that Iggy isn't technically canon in terms of, you know, being in the game or whatever, because he's just on the gallery, if you didn't know that. But I feel like in this iteration of Bob and Eliza, or I guess this iteration of the Pancakes household, that's what I should say. In this iteration of the Pancakes household, Eliza and Bob would have Iggy, and I feel like Eliza would be into politics because she would A, want to have things her way, and B, also protect Iggy. And she would do that by, I guess, putting laws or something in place, or, you know, bills or something in place to protect the children, including Iggy. So yeah, that's pretty much my whole entire thing with Eliza. It's a little bit not super set in stone, because I want her to be somewhat corrupt, but I also want her to be into politics simply to protect Iggy. So it's like sort of kind of like she's a morally gray character, if that makes sense. If you guys have, you know, any thoughts or suggestions on this characterization of Eliza, please let me know if you feel differently about what I'm going for, or if you agree, or if there's something that you would change. Leave a comment if you want to. And yeah, I definitely look forward to, you know, seeing you guys' opinions on this, because I feel like, you know, writing characters and stuff like that is very fun, but it's also very important to have a second opinion or, you know, get advice from people. And I feel like there's honestly nothing really wrong with that. So to recap, here's my whole thing with the pancakes. We have Bob and Eliza Pancakes. They were high school sweethearts. They got married, but things started to fall apart as the years went by. Bob ended up getting into drugs, or I guess just weed. I feel like he'd just honestly be into weed, but maybe he can be somewhat of a drug addict. I still haven't really figured out what I'm gonna do with him, to be honest. I feel like him just being a pothead and not really wanting to have a job is sort of kind of lazy, but that is something that happens in real life. I know somebody like that, and I guess you can say that I loosely based Bob's whole premise on that person that I know in real life. But anyway, Bob is basically not putting in any effort, and you know, he's being very emotionally avoidant with Eliza. And so I feel like Eliza would have gotten into politics to have a means of control in her life and to also make a better future for Iggy, you know, as I said before. So the video has come to a closing, so I do want to thank those of you who have watched throughout the entire video, and I would much appreciate it if you guys left a like if you did like the video. And also, I want to know you guys' opinions on my storyline for the pancakes, so let me know in the comments about that, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.
Do you think you could like look straight into the webcam and say Dua Lipa is the greatest pop star in history for me, please?
I would never say that.
Jacket! Whatever happened to fun?
Tea. I came